This mop has a swing out feature. This is awesome. So giving you those tighter cleans around corners, walls, things like that. Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the DreameBot L20 Ultra. I did receive this sample directly from Dreame, but I want you to know that any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this RoboVac or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Take a look at the retail box and packaging. This thing is massive. Look at all the key features that they advertise right here front and center for you. Auto empty, mop self-cleaning, automatic mop drying, auto water refilling, and automatic solution adding. So this is going to be a very capable RoboVac. They highlight some additional features on the side for you right here, like 7,000 PA, super strong suction. And then moving right along, you'll see we have the same front image again on the back side, and we have some additional features showcased on the other side. So beautiful box and packaging, really nice, great graphics, clear information for us to read and understand. Now let's go ahead, let's open this up and see what's inside. Here are all the contents besides the vacuum cleaner. We'll have to unbox that in just a second here, but we have a lot of goodies to go over. First, you'll notice our product literature with a very thick user guide and manual walking us through everything we need to know in tons of different languages. Next, we have our quick start guide available in English and German. 6 simple steps for setup to get your vacuum up and running. Warranty information, side cleaning brush, power cord, multi-surface floor cleaner. You'll see our mop pads right here. Nice cloth, microfiber cloth pads. We also have our base plate here for our home base. Now let's look at the home base in more detail. So you may notice how large this unit is. Up at the top, great design here. Love how it looks with our gold accent in the middle. Then we have plastic right here that looks like it's supposed to be polished or like a stainless steel. We have our instructions there, Dreame's logo and branding, auto empty dust collector. You'll see down here we have all of our charging contacts, cleaning and drying tech, all stuffed in there. So it looks great. And then we have our self-empty on these sides. You'll also see we have our lock and unlock lever right there to be able to then remove this cover. There's our vacuum bag. We have an extra one all set up and ready to go. Then we can just pop that cover back on, hit the lock, and we're all set. Now you can see the left side of the unit here, just a black finish. Looking at the back side of the unit, you'll see we have our handle up top, on and off switch, power cord, connection hookup right there, and we have some built-in cable management for it. Here's a look at the right side, same nice flat finish. Now we're looking at it from the very bottom. You'll see we have some nice grip feet here and a flat surface with a cutout honeycomb design for the front right there. Looking at the top of the unit, you'll see our 3 control buttons here and a cover that we can open up to reveal our dirty water tank and our clean water tank. In the center, we can remove this cover to reveal a nice cleaning tool. Take a look at that brush cleaner, and we have our detangling option there on the back side. We can install the included cleaning solution right there, and then we can go ahead and put that cover back on. And on the back side of the lid, you'll notice that we have our product instructions right here with a couple helpful tips and tricks, whether it's dust tank cover lock or cleaning the washboard. They have all that information for you right here for easy reference. Here's a close-up of the dirty water tank and clean water tank, color-coded for us so we can visually easily see which one is which. Nice grip handle up at the top, easy to open, clip right there so we can easily clean and empty out anything that's inside. You'll see we have our float right here too to let us know when it's full. Clean water tank, very similar. Nice clip again to easily open. You'll see the seal there to keep it watertight. And we have our hose all the way to the bottom to suck up all the solution and water that's needed. You'll see on the side we have our max fill line indicator there. It's actually on both sides of the container, and I'll show you the very bottom too. But dirty water tank is going to be your dark grayish one. Your clean water is going to be the nice white frosty one. And if you're wondering about the tray at the bottom, it is removable so you can easily clean this as you see fit. That's always nice because over the course of time, as these get washed and dried, you'll collect a lot of gross buildup and and residue here. So it's nice when they're able to pop out and be removed. You don't always see that on models like this, but it's definitely a plus. All right, now it's time to look at the vacuum. You'll see from the top, we have Dreame's logo and branding with that nice gold accent here. The finishing touches around the rim of our LiDAR navigation module. 3 control buttons there. Navigational bumper, you'll see the cool textured and groove pattern. I really like the detail of this. Just a nice flat black finish. It will show fingerprints and stuff, just keep that in mind. Magnetic removable cover plate at the top, revealing our dustbin with our instructions for cleaning. You'll see here we can pop it open and still manually empty as needed. Filter access there. Take a peek inside too with it removed. QR code to set everything up. Love that, just snaps right back on and in place. Now let's look at it from the side. You'll see some venting here, some slots in the finish, side sensor, front sensors and camera. Look at it from the other side, some additional slots here. This is where it's going to empty itself. All the contents will come out that flap. On the back, charging contacts, additional sensors, and how it's going to refill the mopping tank. Now looking at it from the very bottom, super similar as you'd expected on RoboVax. 2 spring-loaded drive wheels, omnidirectional wheel, cliff sensor, side cleaning brush mount. We have our 2 mopping pad mounts right there. And I really like this brush roller on this unit. Typically, Dreamies will have kind of like a hybrid design where it has bristles and this sort of agitator, beater brush, whatever you want to call it. But in this case, we just have that, no more bristles. So I'll be curious to see how this particular one is going to perform. And we have some additional product info right there. Now let's get the vacuum set up. Drop it in, and snap this on. There we go. We have everything set up and installed. Now let's charge it up and try it out. right, we just finished our first clean. Let's take a look at the results. So first up, I went ahead, I pulled the tray out with our mop pads. You'll notice now some slight discoloration, but everything still looks great. We do have some dirt and debris already collecting on this tray just after one clean here. You'll see that little piece of grass, some dirt around the edges. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on this to always wipe it down and wash and rinse off as needed. Now let's look at the vacuum itself. Top looks great, but let's flip it over. You'll see the very bottom here. Side cleaning brush. We have one hair tangled right there that you can just pull and remove as needed. I'm not seeing any tangles in the main brush roller right here, which is awesome. Typically with this design, when you don't have the bristles, This is what you usually can expect, not getting any tangles or hair caught. We maybe have a little bit of hair in the side right there and right there. That's very standard right in that area. I'm not sure if you can see that or not in there, but we do. If I pull that back, you'll see some hair right there that we can work on cleaning and maintaining. Right here where the mop pads were, you'll see just a little bit of moisture and a little bit of dirt and dust. Not bad at all. Now let's go ahead. I intercepted it before it could self-empty. So let me show you what we're working with in our dustbin. Ours is very full. You'll see we have some trash here to a little piece of plastic baggie. We have tons of pet hair, maybe looking at the very bottom. Can you see all the crumbs that have collected in there? So a lot of discoloration on our filter too. We're trapping really fine particles. I wonder if I can gently open this without making a huge mess. Before I do, let me just show you the inside and get a feel for what you can expect with that removed. But again, this empties itself, so you will not have to be manually emptying anything here. But let's try to open it up. Without spilling it from the front, take a look at everything packed in there. So a lot of pet hair just jam-packed in with all of the crumbs and everything else we were able to see on this side from the bottom. So you get a feel for real world results and performance right here with a household full of kids and pets. All right, and for those of you wondering about the dirty water tank, here's what you can expect. Look at how gross our water is. It almost looks like coffee and tea. That's how dark and discolored it already is. That's just after one clean right here. So you'll see how much water we used. And yeah, it's nice and dirty. And looking back inside with the water emptied out, we don't have any dirt really settling at the bottom, but sometimes you might, depending on how full this is and how dirty your floors are. All right, so we just finished our first clean and I wanted to show you the mobile app. So we'll do a brief overview of some of its key settings and features. First thing, once you enter into the product, this is the screen you're going to be at where you can see your map, cleaning history, battery percentage, all of that good stuff. In the top right-hand corner, let's choose those three dots. We'll see all of our device settings here. I want to show you the cleaning history. This is really detailed. One of the better cleaning history tabs I've ever seen because when you select it, not only does it have your map of that clean, right? And look at the detail here. How narrow those rows are. We have tons of overlap, which is great to give us that nice, deep, and thorough clean. But I really appreciate having this map of dirty areas, so they show you different areas to target, and you can clean more effectively. So I like seeing that there. Next, you'll see we have our schedule settings, so you can do that. We have multiple carpet settings that you'll want to read through and select whatever one you think works best for you and your situation. Carpet boost and intensive carpet cleaning. Lots of buttons to toggle on or off. Love the customization though, that's what you want to see. Then we have our floor cleaning settings. This is a great feature. If you're worried about damaging your floors, you can turn on the direction of floor cleaning if you want. Then you'll see we have our mop settings here. Again, toggle them on or off as you see fit. This is great too. This mop has a swing out feature. This is awesome. So if you have corners, those hard to reach areas, the mop will actually come out of the vacuum. It's hard to explain, but it just kind of overlaps a little bit on its own out at the side. It just sticks out. So giving you those tighter cleans around corners, walls, things like that. So you have a couple different ways to do it. Intelligence mode, daily mopping, high frequency. Then we can toggle on automatic second cleaning if you want, which modes, automatic mop pad rewashing. Again, if you toggle it on, choose the mode that you want. Tons of options, but this swing out mop pad is amazing. Love that feature. Next, you'll see accessory usage. Very common now to see these with smart vacs like this, so you know when it's time to replace certain features. Then we have some different functions here you can adjust depending on laboratory functions, right? You got large particle boost, AI settings here. Choose your environment if you have pets, so you can agree to certain things. Battery management, resume cleaning mode, on or off. Additional functions here you can adjust for the vacuum. So very thorough, it's really nice. Got device sharing settings, and we can delete the device at the bottom. Next, let's go over some of the cleaning options here, because now you'll see we have this Clean Genius setting. So here's daily mode and what it does for you. And then you'll see we have ultimate mode. I like this one a lot. It's got that nice deep clean. That's the mode that we just ran for our first use. Does a great job there, walks you through all the features. So you can use one of those if you want, or you can go to Customize Clean, where you have your traditional settings. Do you want to vacuum, vacuum and mop? Adjust all of that. What suction setting do you want? Do you want max suction power? There's your mopping effects, Customize Clean, cleaning sequence. So you can pick and choose all of that right here within the app. Going back into it, I want to show you down at the bottom too, we have our self-cleaning settings. So how do you want to clean the mop pad? How do you want to dry the mop pad? When do you want to do auto empty, right? So all of that right at your fingertips, very easy to find and adjust and change as needed. And then down at the bottom, we can start our clean and we can choose our base station tasks right here. So wash the mop pad, dry the mop pad, auto empty. You get the idea. All of that right down there at the bottom. Next, let's talk about our map. This does support multi-floor maps. We have a couple of maps saved already. You can view your map in 3D. You have map display options here too. What do you want to show or not show? It's really nice when it is cleaning. It will show obstacles and it will identify them with AI, giving you a percentage of how accurate it thinks its prediction is. Little photos if you turn that on, so it can show you like your shoes, charging cords, things like that. Love that feature. I wish we'd see it in our cleaning history too after the fact. That'd be great. But when you are cleaning, you'll be able to see that there. Next, let's go back into the map where we have our no-go zone. So we can choose those, virtual walls, no-go zones, no mop zones, drag and drop right on the map. Then let's go back. You'll see we can edit our areas if you want it to be multiple rooms. You can build that all out right here. You can merge them, split them, rename them, choose your floor material. We got a Wi-Fi map here too. Love that for the signal. So cool. I mean, isn't that just amazing technology? Unbelievable. And then going back in, we have our furniture editing. If you want to add furniture around, you can. You can really build this map out. Then you'll see next up we have our carpet editing. So pick and choose your carpet spots. And then down at the bottom we have our thresholds. If you want to add a threshold, you can do that right there on the map. So very detailed, super thorough, a lot of great customization options. And lastly, let's go ahead, let's look at our camera settings. So just choose that camera icon here. You'll have to enter your activation code. This is for your own security. And if you're nearby the vacuum, it will have a voice prompt letting you know when the camera's on. So now we're into our live feed right here, where we can manually drive the vacuum cleaner if we want. So we can remote control it right here, right out of the base. Look at that. And then we can turn it to the left or to the right. It's really up to you. Keep in mind too, you'll be at the mercy of your Wi-Fi signal strength, so keep that in mind. But look at this, so fun. We have our map right up here. You can pick and choose your map, swap it out depending on which floor you're on, right? So we have our other map options there. Flashlight, auto, or manual mode, you can turn that on or off. We have our audio, you can listen in, you can snap a picture. You can also record video. You'll see we can record 1 minute at a time. We can end it early if we want. So I guess not that early, but you can go ahead, you can let it go for a couple of seconds and then it will save the video clip for you. Down at the bottom, the right-hand corner, we have 3 different mode options. The Thunderbolt Lightning Bolt's going to be your return home charge. Then the other 2 are going to be picking and choosing a point on the map for you to be able to have the vacuum drive itself. All right, so there we go. Video's done right there. It's going to work on uploading. Not the fastest, but not the slowest either. There's a lot going on here. It's all being processed through your vacuum. So here's our first option. You'll see we can pick a spot on the map and it will go there, right to that location. The second one's pretty cool. Basically, you can save points on a map and you can have it cruise to multiple spots. So we could have it go here, and then we could have it go here. So let's go ahead, let's choose cruise. That'll be the mode that we do. And then it will rotate around the area and then it'll keep going. So it's kind of like a perimeter check. And again, you can edit it in the top right-hand corner, but let's let it go. Maybe if we want, we can snap a photo on the way. Could record video too while it's driving. How sweet is this? So I like to use it to check on my pets if I'm not home, see if my dog's on the couch, right? See if he's in the bed. You get the idea. So how does the L20 Ultra stack up against the competition? Well, we'll be comparing it within Dreame's own brand product lineup. That's going to be the center column, as well as the overall average across all the vacuums we've personally tested, which is over 40 and counting. So in this case, First up, we're looking at max suction power measured in PAs. This has the highest suction power we've ever seen at 7,000 PAs. Dreame as a brand typically has the highest suction power overall, so it's pretty impressive that the brand average is 4,600 PAs, which would already be, industry leading and high. But this one still has about 2,000 plus PAs on top of that average. You'll see the average tested overall is about 3,600 PAs, so that gives you a nice perspective of where things sit on the market today. Next, our max CFM, higher the better, just like PAs. Typically, these are nice leading indicators to get a feel for how deep and thorough of a job it's going to be able to do cleaning. In this case, I was really shocked at this metric. We calculated it a couple of times and we got a CFM of 8.2. That's well below the brand average of 9.2, and this being one of their high-end flagship models, I thought for sure we'd be at the average or above, especially with the extra suction power that we have. In this case, we're still above the average tested here of 7.1. Looking at our deep cleaning score, this is where we embed coffee grounds and carpet and see how much of it the vacuum's able to pull back out. We got a score of 95, just slightly below the brand average of 96. I thought for sure we'd get a perfect score here, and I do want to mention that maybe we did, because it sucked out a lot of coffee grounds in this vacuum that didn't make it back in the dustbin. They were just kind of trapped in between. So in its defense, it actually got out more than what we were able to measure, but it technically didn't get it in the dustbin. So at that point, it's kind of on the vacuum, maybe even its design there. But anyways, we almost got a perfect score here, well within any sort of margin of error, and 10 points above the average. Next, in regards to decibels, this is how loud the vacuum is. The louder it is, the higher the score you'll see here. So typically you want a lower score. This is, I believe, the loudest Dreame vacuum that we've reviewed. And we set and conduct this test on carpet with the maximum suction power and settings available. So we got a score of 77 decibels, about 3 decibels above Dreame's brand average. And with that strong suction power, typically you'll see these Dreame products will be above average in their decibel readout. But again, you don't always have to have it on max settings. If you don't, it'll be well below the average with their standard or quiet mode. So anyways, I just want to stress that it's hard to tell the difference really between a 69 decibel vacuum and a 74 decibel vacuum. But jumping up from 69 to 77, there would be a noticeable difference, if you're just listening to it around the house in the background. So just keep that in mind. That's where we start to see high 70s, obviously 80s and beyond. It would be loud, maybe to even say unbearable. That's not the case with this one, but it will be noticeable if you're using that max suction setting and you're in the room or you're nearby the vacuum. Moving right along to battery life, this is measured in minutes. The L20 Ultra has a 260-minute advertised battery life. That's 61 minutes technically above the brand average of 199 and substantially above the overall average of 143 minutes. This is super impressive considering the fact that this vacuum is smart enough to go back home, recharge and resume cleaning, and they still give us this massive battery life. So love to see that. Why we have such a long runtime and battery life is due to the battery capacity. This is measured in milliamp hours. With Dreame's high-end models, this is what you've come to expect. A 6,400 milliamp hour battery that is unbelievably large for robot vacuum standards, and even within Dreame's own lineup with the average being 5,500. You'll also see it's way above 3,000, almost double the overall average capacity across all 40 plus vacuums we've reviewed, which came in at 3,451 milliamp hours. Now in regards to height, 3.8 inches for our RoboVac here. That's right in line with Dreame's average. They all have LiDAR navigation, so you'll see that they're all going to be the same height here, with that module sticking up a little bit at the top, which is why they're slightly above the overall average of 3.5, because that has a good mix of Roombas that don't have that module, so they sit a little bit lower, as well as Eufy vacuums and any sort of low budget end brand that's giving you very basic features and your sporadic random navigation. They're not going to be equipped with that either, so they can make their units a little bit shorter in height. I don't care about height personally, but if you do have a bunch of low-lying furniture and every, inch or tenth of an inch matters, then this could be of importance to you with how you want to make any sort of purchasing decision for whatever vacuum you're looking for. Next, we have our bin capacity measured in milliliters. The L20 Ultra has a 350 milliliter bin. That's about 100 milliliters below the brand average for Dreame, but I will point out, self-emptying base, so typically that's very common. You'll see a smaller bin capacity for the self-empty versions versus a version from Dreame or other brands that don't have the self-empty. They have an incentive then to have the larger bins so you don't have to empty them as frequently. For me, when I'm using this one, it doesn't matter because I'm not emptying the bin anyways. It's going to also be below the average tested because, again, that has a mix of self-empty and non-self-empty vacuums. And in this case, it's still fairly close. Next, tank capacity. This is for the water. This is also measured in milliliters. Same thing like the self-empty. Typically, if you have a vacuum that's capable of refilling, washing, and cleaning your mop pads and your water tank, then you see a smaller tank on the unit itself, and that holds true with the L20 Ultra here at an 80 milliliter tank. That's about 100 milliliters below the brand average, but again, a lot of Dreame models have a mopping pad and module, but you have to fill it up yourself, so you're incentivized again to have that larger tank there so you don't have to make as many trips filling it up. So anyways, it's going to be below the average tested of 231 milliliters, but same thing. That's going to be a mix of versions that refill themselves and versions that don't. And if they don't, they tend to be higher capacity. For me, not a big deal. Again, doesn't matter because it's going to refill as needed. Lastly, let's talk about cost. Well, this will knock your socks off. The L20 Ultra is a top-of-the-line premium robot vacuum cleaner. You'll see it's going to be the most expensive model within Dreame's own product lineup, substantially higher by hundreds of dollars. And across all the vacuums we've tested, you'll see again, it's about double the average price. You've probably seen that we haven't gotten necessarily double the performance in every key metric or area, but you'll get some of the best performance available consistently. And there's some other great features that we aren't able to quantify, like the active scrubbing with the mops and its extended reach. It's able to kick that mop pad out to give you that deep, nice corner, up close and personal clean on the side of your vacuum. Things like that. Just can't really quantify those that lead to this higher price. It also uses the cameras and sensors on the front to be able to give you home security monitoring. So there's a lot of versatility and functionality when you pick up these loaded top-of-the-line vacuum cleaners. But it really comes down to what do you need and what do you want to pay for? After using the L20 Ultra, it's time to share my final thoughts. The L20 Ultra has undoubtedly set a new gold standard in the world of top-of-the-line robot vacuum cleaners. Its innovative features such as Mop-Extend technology ensure thorough edge cleaning, while advanced ultrasonic carpet detection intelligently returns the vacuum to its base and attaches the mop pads to keep your carpets dry. I can't stress enough how much of a game changer this feature is. It is so cool, and I was blown away because I knew nothing about this vacuum until it landed right on my review desk. Next, if you prefer to still lift the pads up over your carpet, not have it remove them at its base, it can do that and give you 10.5 millimeters of clearance. That's going to be more than the average lift out there, but I still found that it is most likely still going to make contact with your rugs or carpets, so better just to remove them in my opinion. So clutch, love that feature. Can't stress enough how cool that really is. Also, it has a live camera function that turns your vacuum into a home security device for real-time monitoring. Additionally, the built-in LED flashlight is impressively bright, and it has fast charging capabilities, which is significant and important due to the massive battery capacity of this vacuum. I do want to note that it is missing the ability to set up off-peak charging, which is a feature I've come to enjoy using on high-end Roborock vacuums. Another notable feature that might be overlooked is the option to add a water hookup kit for automatic clean and dirty water replacement. On the back of the home base, you can install this kit if you have proper plumbing. That might be challenging and an additional expense, but exciting to have that option available for upgrading down the road. During our testing, our pre-production sample experienced occasional issues on carpet, which were fortunately resolved with a firmware update from the manufacturer directly. While such incidents are not uncommon for us, It serves as a reminder to keep your vacuum software up to date. Once we had that firmware updated, we have no longer had any issues. Lastly, while the AI recognition is highly accurate for identifying things like cords, charger, shoes, there's plenty of room for improvement in detecting and handling pet waste. So, tip of the cap, however you want to do that for iRobot with what they've been able to accomplish. Overall, the L20 Ultra stands as an exceptional robot vacuum and an amazing piece of technology that continues to push the boundaries of what's possible in a robot vacuum cleaner and mop.